Did you know that to start an Airbnb business, you don't have to own an apartment? And did you know that the investment capital could be less than 15,000 euros? This and more you will find out in my video. Hello, my name is Maria, a former travel journalist. I run 2 successful businesses together with my partner Antonio, 5 Airbnbs and a restaurant in Rome. In 5 years, I opened 12 Airbnbs for other people, and right now I'm ready to share my knowledge and experience with you. No wasting yours and my time, only facts, practical information, and my experience. Follow my channel and start your own Airbnb business. Why Airbnb is so cool? It's a low-risk business if we're not speaking about the pandemic, with high profit and margins around 20% per year. And after you set up, it requires your minimum presence and attention. Today we will begin with Airbnb fundamentals. Many people think that you have to own the apartment to start an Airbnb business, but it is a common mistake. How is it really work? Here is the explanation. There are 3 ways to get an apartment where you can set up your business. First of all, you can set up a commercial contract with an apartment that is in rent. So basically, you come to the owner and say, I would like to open an Airbnb in your apartment. Would you like to do that? And you set up a commercial contract with this owner. It could be 4 + 4 years or 6 + 6 years. So this way you guarantee that for 8 or 12 years, your money will be frozen there and will bring you profit. So it's a very profitable and easy way to start an Airbnb business. Complicated part and disadvantage of this option is that not every flat owner would like to do this contract with you, because in this case the owner of the flat would pay more taxes and probably he does not trust you to make an Airbnb inside his apartment. But if you will manage to convince the owner to set up an Airbnb in his apartment, this is not the easiest but the best and most economical way to start an Airbnb. Second option is the most expensive option. You can buy an apartment. Here you need to be very careful, because when you buy an apartment in a distant area, it will not bring you profit. It will not bring you clients, and so it's just a waste of money and your time. If you're buying an apartment, first of all, you need to go to the apartment with an architect that will take measures of the apartment and would say, yes, here you can make an Airbnb, because there are many apartments where the flat probably is not disposed to become an Airbnb. For example, in the corridor, you need to have at least 13-14 square meters, and if you don't have them, the apartment cannot become an Airbnb. So you should be very careful with that, otherwise you can really waste your money and your time, and we don't want that. Another thing is, if you're buying an apartment in the city center, it's quite a big investment, so you have to be ready that you will not get a money return in the first year, and probably you should count in how many years you will get your money back and in how many years you will start gaining profit, so if it makes sense for you or if it does not. And the third option that I would recommend for everyone who is starting an Airbnb business and has no contact with flat owners and do not have like big investment money to start or to buy an apartment, I would recommend you to buy a ready Airbnb business. Some of you did not know about this option, and neither did I before I started this business. So in the market, there are flats for rent, apartments for sale, and there are apartments businesses. So it's a ready Airbnb business with a license, with a contract, and with furniture inside. So when you buy the Airbnb business, what are you getting? You're getting a license, which is really important, and every respectful business has a license. So every Airbnb apartment should have a license, and when you actually go to Airbnb, you should see the license in the frame on the door or inside the apartment. Second thing is, when you buy an Airbnb business, you buy the contract. So basically, when you start buying this Airbnb business, the first thing you need to check, when did this contract start? So if the contract started 6 years ago and you have only 2 years left, the price should be really low, or you don't want to buy this Airbnb business because it doesn't make sense for you. You're just wasting your money again. And the third thing is, of course, furniture. If you see that the furniture is old and you don't want it, you can bargain, because otherwise it doesn't make sense for you, because you would need to throw away all the furniture, you will pay for that as well, and you would need to buy new furniture. The fourth thing, which is really important to control when you are already inside the apartment, is air conditioning, because you will spend a lot of money to create the new system of air conditioning, and heating. But this is a separate chapter that I will talk about later. If you are choosing the third option, please don't forget about extra costs that you might face in this case. First of all, the apartment owner would probably ask you to leave a deposit. It would be 3 or 4 months rate that you would need to leave in a bank account, and that money will be frozen, and in case you will not pay rent, the apartment owner would be able to take this money and use it. And the second thing is, of course, the agency costs. The agency costs will depend on the investment value that you will invest, but according to my experience, it will be around 3,000–4,000 euros. When you will prepare your business plan, don't forget, for example, if you're opening an Airbnb in Rome, you would need to consider the seasoning. And season in Rome is very, very long. It's not like in Sorrento or on the Amalfi Coast, for example, where they have season from May to September. In Rome, the high season starts on the 1st of April and it ends on the 31st of October. And you also have 2 weeks in December. So basically, it's a very long season. It's rarely that you can find such a long season in other cities. So consider this as well when you will have higher margins and higher prices on your apartment. Would you like to know more? Feel free to contact me for a private consultation for your future Airbnb business. And don't forget to follow my channel, because in the next video I'll tell you how to choose an apartment for your future Airbnb business.